he said, I know this character, I grew up with this character, and we said, well, do it. And he goes, hire me and I'll do it. And we actually hired him.
Everybody in the world has an idea for a movie, or 10. That's not the hard part. How does it end? I tell you, it ain't easy, Cameron. So,
heavy lifting.
So sit in the old
I love
chair.
it here.
I love it here, too.
This is fantastic.
It is, but here, sit in your place.
Yeah, baby.
Places.
I'm here.
Places, people. Places. We have a big show. No, I love it here, too. This I almost tore this place down because it was full of mold and termites and everything bad you could think of. And it was just a vibe about it. When I bought it, it was just filled with video games.
This room or this whole place?
Yeah, that's what the former owner had in here. But I've never played a video game in my life. I never even played Pac-Man. Like in college, Pac-Man was is that what's going on when you were in college?
Pac-Man.
Did you play?
A little bit.
I never even played pinball.
Really?
Even though Pinball Wizard, not that I have to tell you.
Appreciated that.
Don't you?
Of course, Pinball Wizard. We love all versions of Pinball Wizard. The Who, best of all.
Who else did it?
We have Elton John doing Pinball Wizard.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Kind of a.
That's quite a tribute when a really super duper successful and great artist covers your song. That's kind of the ultimate tip of the cap, I would think. It's like saying, boy, I wish I'd written that one.
True.
What are some of the other, what's your top 10, cover, like this, The Art of McCartney, that album is good, and Billy Joel does Maybe I'm Amazed.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
What'd you think of Billy Joel and the Grammys?
Don't get me started on Billy Joel.
Let's do it. Let's go there.
Because that reawakened, not that I haven't always loved him, but I'm actually making, my girl is here this week and I'm just fucking driving her nuts with how awesome Billy Joel is. And we have to learn about Billy Joel. And so I'm just gonna go off, I use the old iPod, as I've mentioned many times, because you can curate your songs better. And I know exactly how many songs I like of any artist. And the Beatles have the most, of course. Billy has 51.
Wow.
Which is good for my iPod.
Yeah.
Because I weed my garden carefully. So only the stuff I really, really like. When I put it on shuffle, it's every song is great, even though it's Frank Sinatra, then Green Day, and then, what they have in common is I love them all. And I swear to God, his 51 songs, now the one, he had 50 and now he's got a new one.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Yeah. He's just amazing. And I mean, they are just of such a high quality. I know this is sacrilegious, but I might take that 50 over my top Beatle 50.
Wow. I had to be schooled in Billy Joel, but the people that love Billy Joel will teach you.
Just the lyrics, I don't think people recognize that. I mean, a lot of pop, he's definitely a better lyricist than the Beatles, who they range from downright awful to okay, but it's always a pop lyric. I mean, frequently it's gobbledygook. And early stuff is just primitive. I love me do, I love you too, or whatever the fuck. But Paul Simon and Billy Joel are just on a different level as far as lyricists. They're just much more elegant, thought out, stand as poetry, really clever, John is a real estate novelist. Real estate novelist is not that the Beatles didn't have their moments like that.
Yeah.
But he's much more consistent.
Do you love his characters? He creates characters and scenes, and
I think he got that from McCartney.
Yeah.
McCartney was the ultimate character creator. Desmond has a barrow in the marketplace.
Yeah.
He always was just making people up. Remember Another Day, his first single?
Love Another Day.
I do too. Just the lady, morning she wets her hair.
It's just another day.
It's just
You know,
enough.
I'm obsessed with this one thing. Like John Lennon did a whole bunch of interviews, sadly, right before he was killed. Like he was in the middle of a press junket. I wish I'd been able to interview him.
You
but
never did, even when you were
That would have been
the
my
teenage
dream.
wonder kind?
Thanks.
Really? That didn't get to John?
No, because that was House Husband, period. But I saw him on the streets of New York once with Yoko.
Oh.
This wasn't the story I was going to tell you, but they got out of a cab and another couple took their cab. And I saw this young couple like take the cab from John and Yoko, knowing it was John and Yoko.
Right.
And Bill, I think about them like fairly often. Like, can you break up if John and Yoko blessed you as a couple to couple? I say it would be difficult. They're probably still together. But that's another thing.
Or they could have been indifferent to the whole experience.
True.
I mean, were you close enough to see if they were kvelling when they?
I saw some kvel for sure.
Most people would.
There was some. But
isn't it amazing that they were taking cabs?
Yes, I love that.
I mean, that's
great.
what they wanted. They wanted a more regular life. Although
New York life.
I mean, you know, I love John Lennon, cede that to no man, and the Beatles and Toto, but. And Toto was a pretty good band. But he had a phony side to him. Like, he pretended to be the working class hero, and the other ones will tell you, he was the one who had a much more middle class life. He was richer he wasn't rich, but they were like real poor.
Yeah.
And he was he was like in a suburban, right?
Yeah.
Aunt Mimi, and she was strict, but he was not the scraping by quite like the other ones were.
Yeah.
And Elvis Costello nailed him in the lyric with of The Other Side of Summer. Do you remember that song?
I do.
Great record. Great record. No?
Great. I'm reminiscing. That's what it looks like.
There's another lyricist. The first line of that song. The sun struggles up, another beautiful day. That's a poet. The sun struggles up.
Yeah.
Most, what, no?
No, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. But he said, wasn't it a millionaire who said, imagine no possessions?
Wow.
In that song.
Yeah.
And it's true, because they were filling that Dakota, they kept buying apartments in the Dakota.
Lining them up.
Filling it with
a cow farm,
the cow
state,
farm.
and everything.
Remember that article in New York Magazine? Right.
Yeah.
But they were filled up, I think when he died and they went through this stuff, it was just like a floor of shit, rocking horses and whatever the fuck was in
amazing.
there. But
the thing that I remember he said in one of those last interviews that he did, they asked him about Billy Joel. And he said that he loved Just the Way You Are. And he said that he knew where Billy Joel lived. I guess it was kind of in the same place, or across the river from each other. And Lennon said he would be in a little boat out in the water, and he would sing "Just the Way You Are" as loud as he could, hoping that Billy Joel would hear it. So I always thought, like, if I ever met Billy Joel, I would say, did you ever hear a wisp of John Lennon singing maybe, or "Just the Way You Are"? Like in the distance somewhere, like you dreamed it, but actually it was him in a boat serenading you.
Or I bet he could have gotten his number.
Good point.
You are John Lennon.
Maybe not as poetic.
Go through the manager. Well, that's funny.
The boat serenade.
It's funny because the only two big songs of Billy Joel that I do not like are probably his two biggest hits.
Right.
I'm not a big fan of "I Love You Just the Way You Are."
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of "We Started the Fire."
Right. Right.
Was that it?
We didn't start the fire.
We didn't start the fire. I like the lyrics are clever. He was also quite the historian. He was very interested in history. He did that awesome song about Vietnam.
Yeah.
He did the one about Leningrad when he went to Russia, and it's really about the Cold War. Allentown is kind of like about recession in America.
Allentown is great.
It was a lot more than just "bitch better have my money."
Totally. Now, Bill, when you listen to this stuff, does it take you to a sentimental place? Where do you go with the Billy?
A song can.
Joel stuff.
Oh, it just, I have the luxury of having no musical ability.
Right.
I think you have no musical ability.
I have no musical ability.
Right. So we're free
We're free
to be fans.
to be fans.
Just fans.
And isn't it freeing?
It's so freeing.
I don't have a song that I will play for you that I've
Right.
written. You don't have to deal with that.
And I can also be totally honest and just say, I love this and I don't love that. I just said, I don't love We Didn't Start the Fire. It's just not, he's such a brilliant, for me, I love melody. I guess, look, you cannot quantify. There's something in a song. Yes, part of it is lyrics, but I used to have this argument with Clive Davis, and he would say it was like the most important thing, and I would say,
Songs.
maybe for women, but for men, like, absolutely not. A song can have shit lyrics, like, excuse me, some Beatles songs.
Sure.
And I still love the song, because I just love the song.
Yeah.
And then, but it's a cornflakes box, it's something that they just put to,
Totally. Do you listen to lyrics early, or do you just like listen to the groove first? Some people go right to the lyrics.
I know that. Yes.
I'm not that person.
Right. They're called women. I'm telling you. I don't think that's our thing. Because women are, obviously they're very moved. They're more communicative. And they're looking for romance because the men in their actual lives are never romantic enough. So the men in their actual life don't say things like, I love you just the way you are. So when Billy Joel sings it, he gets the most beautiful supermodel in the world.
It's true. It's true. Because you can play a song for somebody and just, for your girlfriend or whoever, and just be like, isn't this a great song? God, I feel so good listening to it. I have no idea what it's about. She's like, oh, you don't know what it's about?
Right.
He doesn't want to have children. She does. They split up. In the third verse, they get a house together, and it's already over, and it's a terrible, terrible, tragic song. I'm like,
right.
I'll get there in a couple of years with what the words are. But you're right. You're right.
Well, half the time, I don't even know what the words are.
Yeah, totally.
Because I know today you can always get the words. I think it's part of the app, right? When you stream.
Yes.
Okay, but I don't.
Your song lyric video accompanies.
Right. I don't want that. If I'm really interested, I can look it up in 2 seconds on Google. But there are songs I've been listening to for 50 years, and I still really don't know what the lyrics are.
Pearl Jam songs.
Well, that's funny.
Are you aware of the Pearl Jam lyrics?
It's
that
really
Eddie works so hard on.
Interesting you would ask me this.
I'm
because,
curious.
Eddie Vedder and I became friends from my Hawaiian vacations. He's always there at the same time. And, if you get into a gift war with Eddie Vedder, you will lose. So, because he's such a generous, sweet person. So
sweet.
He gave me something that was amazing. And then, of course, I'm in a gift war. And, okay, one year.
How do you come back?
You know what I did?
Tell me.
I got all his lyrics of everything he's ever written and printed them out as if it was a coffee table book and made that, because I don't think he has that.
That's funny. Did you have photos in it?
No, it was just
all the
your
lyrics.
body, here's your, as a poetry book, because nobody had done that yet.
Killer.
Yeah.
What'd he do?
He beat it the next year.
Yeah.
He got, he got this, there used to be this show called Celebrity Box. It was a claymation thing where the celebrities would box each other. Remember that?
Vaguely.
It was, I think, on MTV or Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Celebrity Fight Off. And they did me once. I was one of the celebrities. I don't know, they would fight you with somebody, guess who they thought you should be fighting. And he got the claymation figure that they used.
No.
Yes, he did. And he made
takes work.
Oh, I know. I'm telling you, you don't want to get in a gift war.
He doesn't have a team looking for it. I sense it's a personal quest.
Eddie Vedder is just the ultimate human.
I want to hail
and artist.
You.
I mean, yes. But yeah, you're right. The lyric. It was great to print out his lyrics because he is hard to understand. But I mean, so is Mick Jagger.
For sure.
I still don't know the lyrics to Honky Tonk Women.
And he's okay with that. Eddie.
And I'm okay with it.
And everybody's okay with it.
I feel like I'd be disappointed.
Yes.
Because they're also not genius lyricists, the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. I mean, and he knows he can drop whole, sentences and stuff. It's like at a certain point, Under My Thumb became like, thumb, girl. You know,
I mean, when he sings it in the
yeah.
concert?
It's just like the words aren't essential anymore, Bill.
Do they still sing that song?
I think they've pulled that chestnut out from time to time.
I'd be very surprised. It is one of the most misogynistic. I love it, the song, and I could give a shit what it's about.
Yeah.
So, and I understand it was.
Well, we don't know because we're not lyrics guys. So it's like
well, but those I know those.
it's hard to escape the lyrics of that song.
Oh yeah.
But I think they still.
I
don't
hope
do it
they.
anymore.
I hope they do.
I like a good Ruby Tuesday.
Ruby.
You?
Oh, the Stones. They're. I mean, they have probably the same amount, 40, 50 songs in my iPod, and they're fantastic also. I mean, you can't always get what you want. And I mean, they're all, their playlist that they do in their concert and a few others.
Yeah.
I mean, they did an album with Don Was about 20 years ago. There's a couple of really good tracks on it.
Yeah.
The new one is there's a couple, you know, it's like, none of it is bad. You just want to kind of schmooze like 12 pretty good songs into like just two awesome ones. You know what I mean?
I know. Which they've done before.
Well,
Double back singles in the day.
No, I mean
Ruby Tuesday was a B-side, I think.
Is that right?
That's the power of the double A-side single.
What was the ultimate Beatle double A-side single?
Isn't it like Paperback Rider and Rain or something?
Yeah, but I don't think that would
be
the ultimate. I think the ultimate would be Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields.
I'm with you.
Because those were two iconics. I mean, even for them, that's in their iconic list. Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields.
It's so great. Penny Lane's amazing.
I've opined my theory to now a few publications. It's been out there. I used to just say it to friends. I don't know, somehow it got out, and then I'm not afraid to talk about it. But I had a theory that they broke up because to them, singles were everything. That's their era. Not that they didn't make amazing albums, but the singles didn't go on the albums.
I got you, yeah.
Right?
The Hey Jude album was a collection of those singles. It was an
and
amazing
that's
album.
only the American record company taking, the American record put out different versions.
Yeah.
Until about Revolver, and then I think Rubber Soul Revolver, I think that's when they demanded, no, you got to put out the same album we put out in England, which was 14 songs and not the singles. I mean, Sgt. Pepper was supposed to begin with those two songs, Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields. That was the concept, is our childhood. And then they forgot that, and they just had a bunch of other really great songs. But
you're a Beatles guy. That's
you're not?
cool. No, of course I am. But you're deep tissue Beatles, which
well, it's
kind of.
Well, I'm talking to you.
But I'm just saying, I hail you for digging into the B-sides,
I hail you.
The first sequences of Sgt. Pepper and stuff like that. It's a world to disappear into, the Beatles, the world of the Beatles. Let me ask you, how do you feel about the Sam Mendes 4 Beatles films, one on each of the members? Let's talk about that. Let's vet that.
I just read it. I know what you're talking about. I don't quite get it yet. I mean, each Beatle has their own movie made about them. I assume the other 3 have to be in it.
I guess they cross paths.
Is it
how do
a
you do
Rashomon thing where it's just first we see the same scene, but now it's from George's point of view, and then we see it from Ringo's point of view? What if they all saw the same thing? Hey, this Elvis is kind of an asshole tonight. You know, I think that
seems in all the movies, all 4 movies.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons why they did so well is that certainly in the early days they were tight. They were tight. You know, I don't think they had a lot of different opinions. Then later they did. Yeah, of course. So I don't know.
Does he direct them all? Who writes them? Like, what's the deal?
If we could sit through and love, as I did and I bet you did, the 8 hours of basically the Let It Be outtakes that Peter Jackson put together, I'm sure we'll like this too.
That's right.
You know, the Beatles are like, I mean, the way they can keep mining out of them.
I know.
They're like when the Saudi Arabians, like when they hit that one oil field that in the 50s and it's still going.
Yeah, totally.
They have an oil field there that's really big, hence their reputation for an oil-producing nation.
So here's my question. So when the singles era, and actually let's just say when the intensive song era of music started to slip into more of like records as opposed to songs, I would say over the last 20 plus years. Did you lose interest in music and that kind of music, or do you like that?
Well,
There's less emphasis on lyrics now. It's more just vibe, right?
I will
And how are you with
I
that?
will answer that in 1 second, but
Okay.
I just remembered why I was telling you about Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields. My theory about why they broke up. They prized singles, and John Lennon kept losing that race. Like Hey Jude beat out Revolution.
Wow.
That's another two-sided, like, Revolution, Strawberry Fields, and you can't get the A side.
Yeah, yeah.
And that happened, Hello, Goodbye, Paperback Writer, and Rain. Rain is a great song, but it's the B side. And I think that bugged him.
That's a wild concept. That
Well,
feels right.
But it feels right.
Because he was that guy.
And also, we're all competitive in this business. And
Yeah.
they were competitive in a very positive way, but you also just don't want to flat out lose.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, Paul McCartney is more prolific. I don't think like his best are better than John Lennon's best.
Yeah.
Day in the Life and Revolution and I Am the Walrus. And he's got tons of great ones.
Yeah.
But he was lazier by his own admission.
Yeah.
He would sit on the couch, he would say, and Paul would call up and say, we got to do this. And he'd be like, and Paul was like, the principal comes around and makes us work. And,
Yeah.
But he said, honestly, I wouldn't have done it otherwise. He didn't want to lose when they got in the studio. Oh, you have more songs on the album than I do? And they're better? So.
It's a great theory.
Yeah. I don't know.
Right.
And I don't think you could get a straight answer out of Paul McCartney about it. But, who knows?
To that theory that John in the bedroom with the guitar was probably his most comfortable place, Elliot Mintz put together, after John died, like all of these private homemade tapes. I don't know if you ever heard it. He had a radio show called The Lost Lennon Tapes.
I remember Elliot. Wasn't he like their confidant?
He was their confidant and publicist. And
Publicist,
Bill,
right.
He had like all of Lennon's work tapes and just stuff that he made, like shit that he was doing just with a tape recorder with a cassette player going in the bed, and like Sean is crying across the room, and he's just like talking about stuff, and he hears Gotta Serve Somebody from Dylan, and he kind of plays Gotta Serve Somebody, and it's fascinating. It is that guy in his like pulled back and retired mode. But you're right, he's following pop music and he's following all the hits of the time.
And by the way, just before he died, came back with one of his greatest and again, such a pop hit record, Starting Over.
Yeah.
Starting Over.
Watching the Wheels, great.
Yeah, that's another great one. But Starting Over is just, if you're like just the regular fan, just the young man in the 22nd row, that's the kind of record I love. And I certainly know people who hate music like that. It's just too...
But it's not us.
It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You don't like music like that. Fine, no, I'm kidding. But, there are people, and like, God, enjoy your Miles Davis and your acoustic Dylan or whatever, and I will enjoy popular music.
I got you.
Because, again, we're just the fan.
There's new bands that I think you would love. I think there's new stuff.
I listen to new stuff.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
Good, because I know you have expertise in the era we're talking about.
Name some new bands that you like or artists.
I think My Morning Jacket is a great band.
Yeah, I have. What's one of their big ones? I don't have a lot of their stuff, but something crossed my transom about a year or two ago, and I love it. It's the vibe in is immediate.
Yeah.
And I think it's long. It's like 8 minutes. I can't remember the name.
Golden, maybe?
No, it's like a bit longer title than that. I don't know, but okay. So get more of them.
In another time, that band is huge. I just think like live, they're explosive. They're amazing.
It's amazing the way bands, which is what we grew up in, are so just out of vogue right now.
I know.
A band,
that's
just all the big stars are female singers. Singles mostly. That's you could just name from Taylor Swift and Beyonce on to Rihanna and it just goes on and on. Those are the stars. That's what sells now.
Women actually are buying more electric guitars than men now, which is kind of fantastic.
And by the way, the kids who think that Taylor Swift invented the breakup song and the I Will Get Back at You song really have to listen to Carly Simon, You're So Vain, because nobody ever did it quite with the velvet shiv that she did
Velvet Shiv is
on You're So
correct.
Vain,
Yeah.
supposedly about Warren Beatty.
Beatty, yeah.
You know,
With Mick Jagger singing on it. That's
Yes.
an awesome move. That's like a ballsy Carly
I know,
Simon.
and it's so
fucking
distinctive when that voice comes
dealing
in.
you her cards and they're that, you know?
Oh, but you
No,
know,
it's amazing.
and again,
It's a great record.
great lyric. I mean, also poetic lyrics there. Your scarf was apricot.
There's a word in there that's
yacht.
crazy. Like,
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's like your dance, whatever.
I
didn't
forget
hear
the
it
word,
for
but yes.
20 years.
No,
I didn't hear it
was,
because I don't listen to lyrics.
Well, she's scion of the publishing house, is she not?
She is.
So
she is.
So the literary got into her blood, but
That's true.
you walked into the party like you were walking onto a yacht. You
Yeah,
had strategically something
It's behind one.
your hats.
Let's
Whatever.
bring her out. Carly Simon, ladies and
It's
gentlemen.
amazing. We've heard it 1,000 times, and
We're
some
like,
things
You probably think this song is about you. That's the lyric.
And then,
Her first single, That's
you had
the way
one
I
eye in
always...
the mirror
One eye
as
in the
you
mirror is
watched
great.
yourself gavotte.
Gavotte. That's it. Thank you.
It.
That's
But then when you're where you should be all the time, and when you're not, you're with some underworld spy or the wife of a close friend.
no, it's a shiv. There's
Come
no doubt
on.
about it.
Taylor has got to study that. That's a shiv.
That's high end shiv work. And her first single is fantastic. That's the way I always heard it should be.
Oh,
Remember that?
there's one
Out of the box.
who's got like a dozen in my iPod. But again, they're all fantastic. Yes. I've gone through many Carly Simon song crushes, where you just get a song where you just,
For sure.
you got to play it every day for 2 weeks. You just get a crush.
Completely.
It's
Do you like interviewing musicians?
Oh, sure. I mean, like here?
Yeah.
Oh,
or
I
anywhere.
mean, those of us, who are not musicians, it's always going to be a little fantastical for us. There's just going to be, it's sort of like they are a little demigod because they just walk through this world. I mean, one of the things that just amazes me about the whole rock experience is that so many of them will say or have a story or a life pattern, and if I had to put the ending to it in 3 words, it's drugs beat sex.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I had been a rock star and, women were throwing at you themselves, like, where it was just, I think I would have kept with that and not the drugs. Like, so many of them have these stories where like, oh my God, you're living this amazing life.
Yeah.
And then the drugs got to be way more important than the sex and ruined the sex. They were too sick and drunk and on coke to even have sex. So,
Why?
but that's your drugs beat sex usually.
Yeah.
I would hope I would have been able to do better.
I think you would have been more strategic.
Wish. What a noble wish for
It is a
man's
noble wish. But see, you had it on your mind. You wouldn't have fallen into that trap.
But you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
So many of them.
Yeah.
And very often pedestrian drugs, like drunk.
Yeah.
Really, you're a drunk?
Yeah.
You get to the pinnacle so you can be a drunk and get away with it for a while? Wow.
What is it? Is it imposter syndrome or something? It's like, because there's so many bands that have one hit and then like a guy goes into a 7-Eleven and shoots someone and the band's over and it was only one hit. It's like, that's how they celebrate. It's like, let's go loot, Pink Dot. It's like, it's crazy. So they must there must be at least one person in the band that like hates themselves and the success just.
Oh, they all hate each other.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Right.
I've talked about that with many of them.
And then there's one guy in the band that's an archivist that kind of keeps the stuff.
Yeah.
And there's that guy. But
That guy must have
Anyway.
been good for you.
Yeah, we like that guy.
Yeah, because you're an archivist.
I am that guy.
Yeah, you are that.
I can't play. But I am that guy.
Right. You are an
And
archivist.
you're a little bit that guy because you saved all the stuff in this little enclave.
I mean,
this was your stash of
the
stuff.
Supremes
I-
from a poster that
Bill,
was in an album.
I had that
You did?
in my room. It was these were the first women that I had on my wall. It was from the Supremes' Greatest Hits
Wow.
album. It was like a fold-out poster, and I had it on my wall. And I remember my sister came into the room one day and was like, "You're into women now, nice."
So
and it was like
you
it
had
was
that very thing?
Bill, I walked
That-
in and I saw it, and it was just like,
Wow.
"Ooh,
Really?
yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, because we're around the same age. We bought albums. There were posters and albums. Finding the right clothing for the occasion can be a bigger pain in the ass than figuring out what to put over that same ass. We're guys. We want to look good without having to think about it. Men's closets were due for a radical reinvention, and that's where Rhone comes in. Rhone's commuter collection is the most comfortable, breathable, and truly versatile set of products known to man. They have products for every occasion, like the world's most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos, and blazers. Rhone's signature 4-way stretch fabric is breathable, flexible, and works everywhere from your commute to work to the 19th hole. It's time for unparalleled confidence without all the hassle. Rhone's commuter collection features wrinkle release technology and is 100% machine washable. Looking good is that easy. Treated with Gold Fusion anti-odor technology for more wears between washes, you'll be fresh and clean all day long. And I'm around comedy writers all day, so that's a big must. I love Rhone because it's so much more than a river in France and Switzerland. See, this ad comes complete with a geography lesson. Rhone's commuter collection is effortlessly stylish and comfortable, and it works all day for you in any and every situation. Before, during, and after work, the commuter collection can get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. Head to rhone.com/random and use promo code RANDOM to save 20% off your entire order. RHONE.com/random and use code RANDOM. It's time to find your corner office comfort. I'm here to tell you about a disturbing trend online. Hat fishing. That's right, hat fishing. It's when someone appears on their dating profile with a hat on, then shows up on their Cheesecake Factory date with almost no hair. Provia is here to stop the scourge of hat fishing. It's a hair-thinning formula for guys who just need that extra edge up top. It has natural ingredients, prescription and drug-free, and gets shipped direct to your door. Provia effectively targets the 3 main causes of premature hair thinning and loss, and it's effective for men and women of any age and safe on colored, treated, and styled hair. It's that easy. And right now, new customers save over 50%, plus free shipping on Provia's introductory package at proviahair.com/random. Every package includes a full 60-day supply of Provia serum for daily use, plus the Provia Super Concentrate for faster, more noticeable results. And for a limited time, Provia's Perfect Beard Treatment or Provia Eyelash Enhancing Serum as your exclusive free gift at checkout. Provia works, guaranteed, or 100% of your money back. Don't wait. Order now and save an extra 10% and free shipping at proviahair.com/random. That's proviahair.com/random.
I had a script I was working on, and I thought, forgive me, I thought the perfect person to play. Sorry about my phone. I had a really cool 60-ish character. This kind of like a Californian, post-socialite woman who was part of the California culture. Anyway, so I thought Raquel Welch would be the perfect person to play this part.
So this is
and she died. This is just a script I was working on because I thought there was more for Raquel Welch. I thought there was an Anne Margaret carnal knowledge moment for her that she never quite got.
Could have been.
So
if
that
somebody
I was
had cast her.
thinking of I was chasing that.
She was in The Last of Sheila in 1974, one of the great, amazing movies that's unsung because it invented a whole type of mystery shooting of a film that's used in everything. But she could have. But so you're working on a screenplay now? Are you always working on something?
Yeah, for sure.
You're always writing a screenplay?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you have a very impressive shelf, I must say. my friend Salman Rushdie, he said, you know, I'm just glad that I have a shelf, you know, like he's got, in other words, he's got and a whole shelf of books. Like he's, you know, when you get to a certain age, you want, and you know, you have a very great shelf with all the movies that, you know, the Jerry Maguire.
I look at it that way as like a shelf. I've worked on a shelf.
Yeah, you've got a good shelf.
I got a couple more slots there on the shelf. I'm into like lining a few more up.
I know you wrote the screenplay to Fast Times at Ridgemont High, right?
Yeah, your buddy Sean Penn's tour de force.
Oh, right. Oh, of course.
Yeah, Sean man. He walked right into it. It was, I always thought.
Is that the way you wrote that character? Or did he change?
Yeah, no, because he was based on a guy from San Diego who was like one of those young beachcomber guys.
Spicoli.
His real name was very close to Spicoli. It was really kind of a portrait of this guy. And actually, the last time I saw him, he was shirtless, the real guy. And he was walking down the street looking for a party. He had like a Wings, apropos of our conversation, he had a Wings necklace on somehow. And he was shirtless, and I was talking with a friend of mine.
McCartney band?
Wings the band.
Yeah.
And he had like cutoffs and stuff. And the guy I was hanging with said like, Jeff's going to come looking for a party. And the guy walks up and he's like, I'm looking for some Jack and there's some at a party, right? Right? And it's like, that's the last time I heard from him. And that was what Spicoli was based on.
You taught Sean to say it like that?
Sean had the character. And what was amazing was he didn't really audition. He had auditioned for the casting guy quietly, but when he came in to meet all of us, he had this attitude that was like so confident, and he hadn't even had a movie come out yet. And he said, I know this character. I grew up with this character. I lived in Malibu. I know exactly what this guy's like.
To this day, he's a big surfer.
Yeah.
He's a surfer dude.
And we said, well, do it. And he goes, hire me and I'll do it. And we actually hired him.
Really?
And my thing was every day I would try and get him. He would only be called Jeff. He was in character the whole time. We would go out for pizza afterwards, and I would try and coax him to say the line, you dick, because to me, if the guy didn't nail the line, you dick, we're sunk.
Mr. Hand.
And so with Mr. Hand, and so like the countdown to the day where he was killing it and everything, but we hadn't really heard him like unfurl and do it.
He did it perfect.
And we were all lined up by the camera, and he walked in, and Ray Walston, was there, and he had done his stuff, and Sean rolls in, and he was just like, you dick. And we looked at each other like, jackpot. Not only does he know how to do it, he's way inside of it. And, he stole all our hearts.
Yeah.
Our stony hearts.
And then the countries. No, it was
He was amazing, and it was based on a guy he knew.
Right.
But he walked in with the checkerboard vans and everything. I mean, they should have given him the company, because I think because of Sean and checkerboard vans, they got to resell the company for $1 billion or something.
That scene where he walks out.
But he walked right into it
with the smoke coming out of the van.
It's fantastic. And he has that thing like, Mr. Hand, is there someone like me every year? And that's when you see the genius of Sean, because he's giving you the emotion underneath the joke.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, I care about this guy. He's fantastic. I'm glad you guys are buds.
Yeah. Another Hawaii dude.
You have your Hawaiian pals.
Yeah, we don't do it anymore, but it was 12 years. It was really, I would have loved to go with you.
It would be fun. And Eddie in Hawaii is a magical thing.
You've got your shelf.
So I got my shelf to work on. I want to say something about you, not to jump in. Not to jump in, but I want to say something about you. We got to hang a little bit at a basketball game.
Oh, yeah.
And here's what I loved. I was kind of walking behind you as you were leaving. You're a man of the people. It is like everywhere you look, it's like, Bill.
Yeah.
Bill. Hey, man. Bill. Bill. And you have a moment with all of them. You look at them and you have a moment with all of them, and it's like, Bill. And even the guy that came up and goes, Bill Murray, I love you. You're like, I love
Close
you.
enough. Close enough.
I love you. Close enough. But I really loved how you
Well, thank you.
have that kind of grassrootsy thing at the basketball game where they were just like,
Yeah.
other people were there and they were like not noticing the other people. It
No,
was
I love
Bill.
them because it's not, it's
And you were
not,
great with them.
Yeah, but it's not like 9 out of 10 people in the crowd. It's like 1 out of 10 or 2 is going to do that or something. But that's still a lot of people.
A passionate one.
And they're passionate, right? And we sort of like, I feel like we're just on the same wavelength, the way we see things, and we really think people who don't see things the way we do are kind of nuts. And maybe we're right, and maybe we're not. Maybe we're sometimes right, but yeah, no, it's that's a lovely thing. It's a lovely level where I don't really have to worry about like the kind of things. Who wants that kind of like they're parked outside your house paparazzi life? Not me.
Yeah.
And I don't have that. But you have, it's nice to be appreciated by like you say, the man in the street, man, woman, whatever, in the street, as long as they're in the street.
And they're in the street. But I think that's like a valuable thing when somebody goes out on a limb a little bit and says like, Bill, and you're not like, yeah. You're like,
Oh,
hey,
no, I'd feel like such
them.
a schmuck.
And I remember
Because
like,
it takes guts.
it does.
For everyone, I never did it. I saw people when I was younger, and I was just too shy. And like, oh no, what if they actually turn around and start talking to me? I don't want to deal with that. That's So for every person who does it, there's a few who probably are. No, I would like to, but I mean, I definitely was shy like that, and I would have been mortified. I was at the Yankee game once when I was very young, maybe the first time my father took me to. We walked down, we weren't sitting down by the field, but we walked down before the game, batting practice, and Mickey Mantle was standing there like he was like 10 feet away from me. And I screamed, "Hey, Mickey," at the top of my lungs. And he turned around and I was just like so scared at that moment.
And what he turned around and just
He just
gave you a
turned
kind of
around.
a-
He heard his name, like screamed, and it's like, yeah, he's a human, and
But the fact that he turned around, it's like a moment you get
Right.
to own, right?
I'm just saying it scarred me for life. And Mickey Mantle made me.
You touched him.
Yeah,
Let's just say it.
Yeah, I touched his eardrum.
You did.
And then he made me pee my pants. I mean, I may almost have literally. I'm sure I turned beet red because that's what I would have happen at that age when you would just.
But you had a moment with the Mick. That's amazing.
That was my moment with the Mick. Yeah.
The first time I ever got asked for an autograph, it was like, I thought it was a joke. And I put out the movie Singles, and there were these really cool college kids in this Mexican restaurant that came up, and the guy was like,
What was that? 91.
91, way to go. And this guy
I'm
was
very
like,
good with movies.
you are.
Jerry Maguire, 96.
96.
Almost Famous, 2003.
Damn.
Um,
Good.
Richmond High was 82 or 83.
83.
83, because that's the year I moved out here, and the soundtrack was my
You're good.
go-to like makeout record.
Wow.
Really, it was right after the Eagles broke up. So Don Henley,
Love Rules.
Love Rules.
That's a good
What a
song.
great unsung song.
Unsung song.
Also great lyrics.
Great lyrics.
Eagles could do it, like Desperado. Some great poetic lyrics. They should get a check in our.
Song power.
Yeah,
The
right.
songs are great.
But
I love that you've.
yeah,
knew
that was 83. Yes, right. Okay. Then what else? Jerry Maguire. I said that one. Oh, Say Anything was 91. No. 90.
I can see in your eyes, you know you're close.
90.
89.
89.
Close.
I remember Ione Sky. I remember that name.
Thanks,
And I
man.
certainly remember. Oh, that was. I've watched that many, many times. Well, that's iconic with the holding up the boombox.
John Cusack, amazing.
My theory,
Amazing.
if he only had played the right record, he could have gotten her to come down. But like,
You'd be amazed at like where that came from. That I really like this Billy Idol song for like one day, and it was To Be a Lover. So in the script, it was To Be a Lover. by Billy Idol, and it really didn't work. And no song worked in that spot except for In Your Eyes, which we got super lucky because he this is a very personal song for him, and he didn't want to give it to anybody. And a lot of people had told Peter Gabriel, like, you got to talk to this guy, and they really want to use your song. And so, like, I got up super early one morning, and he was in Germany, and I'd sent him a VHS tape of the movie, and there was this frail kind of voice that was Peter Gabriel on the phone, and I was really nervous. And he was like, I can't give you the song. And I was like, oh, man. He goes, it's a very personal song for me, and I just can't do it. But thank you for sharing your film with me.
Wow.
And I was just like crushed. And as I was putting the phone down, I just had like a teenage moment, and I like pulled the phone back up, and he was still on the line, and I go, but why? And he goes, well, because when he takes the shot, it didn't quite work for me. And I'm like, takes the shot? And he goes, this is the John Belushi movie, isn't it? And I go, no. And he goes, oh, is it the high school movie? And I go, yes. And he goes, oh, I'm going to watch that tonight.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, thank God.
Oh, wow.
Watch it. And he watched it and said yes, which was
yeah, it's a big
shocking and
compliment.
amazing and incredible. But it was a close call.
I
because
must admit,
nothing
that
worked.
is one rocker who's sort of eluded me. Now, maybe I should
Maybe.
You're a big fan.
I'm a big fan. I think
That's
he's
Genesis?
got great stuff. It's Peter Gabriel's solo is
But
a mother
that was
lode,
his
but that
band.
is Genesis.
Okay. Because I must tell you, I never got into Genesis, at the time.
I love that you're confessing.
I am
I must
confessing.
tell you.
I must. I never was into them when they were huge.
Yeah. Nor I.
was aware. No, oh, you weren't either?
No.
Okay. But I was aware that they were a big band.
Right.
But I literally couldn't name one song. And I thought, well, yeah, it's not really accurate to say I don't like Genesis. I just don't know Genesis.
Yeah.
And for some instinctive reason, I feel it is instinctive, because I can't remember any rational reason why I would have avoided them. But so, like, this is one thing I love about the old iPod, but you can, or I guess I could have got it on streaming, but I just want to hear it the way I want to hear it. And then if I like something, keep it and get rid of the rest of it. So I downloaded like their greatest 35, I think it was quite a large selection, maybe even 40 or 50 songs.
Body of work.
And body of work. And I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to this 3 times, because you don't always like something.
True.
Yeah. Still nothing.
Okay. All right.
But that's just me, and I know that's terrible.
I don't think you have to go back to that well. I think it's
the
over.
reason why I don't feel bad about saying it is because this band and Mr. Gabriel need my fandom like a hole in the head. They're huge. They have thousands of devotees, and you just can't get mad at someone for not like. People do this all the time, like with each other. Listen to this, and then it's like, yeah, it's okay. What? You don't like that song? No. There's no reason why I do or I don't. I just do, and you just don't. You can't get mad at people for not liking your song.
You can't.
Or your band, or whatever.
Or if they give you the light compliment. It's cute.
Right.
No, it's meaningful.
No, I mean, again,
changed my life. Yeah,
something
okay.
I like about the iPod, I can see
Yeah.
how many songs I have, and there's a certain clarity to that of who's the best. And I think Genesis
Didn't make
I
it.
think they got the goose egg. I do. I don't know. I'll
Phil
have to-
Collins solo ever?
I mean,
Did anything for you?
Then I did it with Rush.
Okay. How'd that go?
Well, they have one in the maybe playlist.
Okay.
So
Which one?
I wouldn't say they actually, did that well.
Which one?
I don't remember. Do not
Okay.
remember.
But they're in there. They got one.
Well,
You popped one in there.
they're not out.
Okay.
They're not quite in, but
So-
they're willing to. You know what? I got to let the fields lie fallow, get it out of my head, and like in a 6 months or a year, I'll play it, or it'll come up in shuffle, which is what I really want when I'm not expecting it. And if I go like, oh yeah, that's good. I mean, look, it's never going to be my top 500 greatest, because if it was, it would already be in there by now. But, you know, I got like 4,200 songs that I've cultivated over from the late 60s when I think we must have both started. What was your first year listening to music? Oh, you're a precocious, look who
No,
I'm
probably
talking.
same as you, like 67, 68, something like that.
When you were like, how old, 13?
Yeah.
12?
12, 11.
Yeah, okay.
Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was 68. I was, the Sgt. Pepper album had been out, but when it came out, I was not interested in music. It was still Little League. And then, like a year later, it was in the house, and I played it, and I liked it, and I think that was the beginning of it. But 68, I started to write down the survey from WABC radio. So I was listening to the radio.
You're a music guy. Come on.
Yes, absolutely.
This is
I
fantastic.
still have those too. I have the survey.
The survey
of
is
like
fantastic.
From September 1968. I think like Heard It Through the Grapevine might have been number one. I think Love Child.
Your Supremes.
Love Child was moving up the charts.
Hell, Love Child
I
is
think
doing.
Hey Jude had been.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was number one at the time. I don't know, but and then of course there was they filled it out with things by the Association.
Of course, the Classics 4. Windy. You'll say, Windy will pass through.
Gary Puckett and the Union.
Gary Puckett and the Union Gap.
Had a great year in 68.
Yes.
Woman.
Girl, Woman.
Young Girl, which I sang in my last special to make the point that, they just didn't care back then.
They did.
The way you could not get away with singing Young Girl.
Get out of my mind.
You're way too young.
My love for you is way out of line.
He
knew. He knew.
I am.
He did.
But I am contemplating.
But I am here and making you the subject of my hit. So I have a suggestion for you. Have you listened to the John Maher channel on Sirius?
No, but I like John.
Great.
I like John.
It's great. He has his own channel, Channel 14, and it's what it is.
Just
it's
his
like
records.
No. It's like he peppers it a little bit with his own stuff, but mostly
him.
He is Mr. Anti-algorithm. He is like, I'm here to play you songs that you may never hear because of the way radio and streaming is now. And I love these songs personally, and I've picked them out personally, and he is a great DJ.
Good. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Club Random is brought to you by the audio marketing gurus at Radioactive Media. Being part Irish myself, I love the month of March, the month that represents new life and the luck of the Irish and the endless March Madness pools. You know what would be true madness? Letting your business be reliant on luck. You can drive new sales and acquire new customers by partnering with shows like mine. You can elevate your brand in an intimate space away from your competition while generating up to 9 times more leads by combining the power of audio and video channels with text messaging and generate an ROI as high as 5, 6, or 7 to 1. The best way to achieve these goals is through the team at Radioactive Media. They're like a bunch of badass leprechauns who know their shit. They'll point you in the direction to find that pot of gold by pairing your company nationally on podcasts, terrestrial, satellite, and radio. Club Random has been partnering with Radioactive Media since the beginning, and they can create a customizable campaign for your company's needs. Radioactive Media has an exclusive deal to promote your product or service on Club Random with me and save up to 50%. Just lock in your first campaign this year. Don't leave your marketing to luck. Go to radioactivemedia.com or text the word random to 511-511. Discover how audio marketing can surpass your current strategies with new and innovative ways that sound better. Go to radioactivemedia.com or text random to 511-511. Text random to 511-511 today to save up to 50%. Terms, conditions, message, and data rates may apply. This podcast is brought to you by Max. Hey, that's my network. Larry David is back for one last round. Oh, don't miss the final season of the iconic HBO original series Curb Your Enthusiasm, streaming now on Max, and it is funnier than ever. I can attest to that. I've seen every minute. And if you want to learn more about the show, join Susie Essman and Jeff Garlin as they host the History of Curb Your Enthusiasm podcast. They will be rewatching and talking about every single Curb episode, from the original special to the series finale, sharing behind-the-scenes knowledge few others can reveal. Hear from special guests including Cheryl Hines, Richard Lewis, Bob Odenkirk, Richard Kind, Sherry O'Terry, and the man himself, Larry David. Listen to the history of Curb Your Enthusiasm on Max or wherever you get your podcasts. Hey, I'm coming back to the scene of the crime where I did my last special, the Jackie Gleason Theater in Miami, on March 23rd. Miami, always love it. Come out and see me. And then the next night on the 24th, I'll be in Clearwater, Florida, Ruth Eckerd Hall. Love that building. April 20th at the San Jose Center for the Performing Arts here in San Jose, California. And April 21st at the Eccles Theater in Salt Lake City, Utah. Come out and see it. You will laugh your ass off. The thing that the AI can't do, or they don't want to do maybe, is if you say to, if you're on Spotify or Pandora or whatever, and you say, you create a station based on a song.
Yeah.
It'll play stuff from around that era. My playlists, I want I want the same feel, but I can do it across decades, but I have to do it.
Exactly.
And I love doing that. I love putting together playlists that have, something from,
it's the best.
1968, and then something that, I could play a Weekend cut right after that, and that sounds like it could have been made back then. His big hits, his good hits.
Absolutely.
Right.
You have to do it yourself, basically.
You have to do it yourself. But it's kind of fun.
It is fun. It's, of course, fandom, which is a mini thing.
And also an appreciation. It's, look, we're not in the game, we're the cheerleaders. But if we're enjoying ourselves, so what? And then they also cheer what we do. Musicians also sometimes really want to be comics, and they would love to be directors and big mocker in movies like you. That's certainly, more than a few rock star. Prince, remember trying to be a movie star?
Yeah.
Under the Cherry Tree? That was
one for two. I thought Purple Rain was great.
Purple
Under the Cherry
Rain was.
Moon, not so much.
Right. Right. Purple Rain. But Purple Rain's the origin story, the This Is My Life story. So that's the easy one.
Okay.
Then,
that's the gimme. You're going to give him that. That's good. I got you. It's the coming of age thing.
I should ask you this.
But Under the Cherry Moon,
I have to ask you this because, yes, you're the perfect one.
We got to talk about Tarantino.
You write your movies. Wait a second.
Okay,
you write your movies. You direct them. So my thing, I always say this to the movie makers, it's all about the ending. Everybody in the world has an idea for a movie, or 10. That's not the hard part. How does it end? How do you get that ending that's just, your movies have been very successful because you do that.
Every once in a while, we stick the ending, but it's hard.
I think
you're absolutely right.
Look, honestly, I didn't know what Vanilla Sky was about. That one, I'm just not smart enough. But I love the Hawaiian one.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Aloha. Right? Is that what?
Yeah, the last scene.
And great, it's a love triangle that how does this work out? And then it's like and when it happens, it's like, what's the phrase? It's destined and yet unpredictable. It would not.
That's the goal. Always.
Yeah, and it's like, of course she's with him for that. That makes sense. And he been. And Bradley Cooper. It was not.
Yeah.
You send them off of, and and you follow, and then that's a good ending.
Sometimes the endings are super hard. My favorite ending is the Say Anything ending, which is like Cusack and Ione Skye just kind of waiting for the ding that happens when the turbulence ends on the plane flight, and then the ding happens on Black. And that was kind of a mistake because I was reading it out loud to just get a sense of what it was. And it actually went on, and he said more, and the plane didn't land, but there was an attempt at an ending. And I was reading it out loud, and I got to they're staring at the ding, button. They're waiting for the sound. And I could feel like I can end it here. And I go, and that's the end. And it was like, that's a great ending. And I'm like, just don't use what I had written. So it's like, which is kind of an editing room ending because you have it, but you just lop it off and that's the ending.
Editing is everything.
Editing is super everything, and casting, and also the spirit that you bring to making the movie. When you interviewed Quentin, like his full spirit just like populates his movies. Wes Anderson's spirit
totally.
populates his movies. By the way, both of those dudes are like titans of music in their movies.
Yeah,
And,
you can tell with Quentin Tarantino. I mean, he's
Titans.
always putting in.
He pisses me
It
off.
sometimes it feels like he wrote the movie around the song.
I know. He pisses me off because I have like some things in my back pocket that I'm like holding on to. One of them was the Delphonics song, Didn't I Blow Your Mind This Time?
Yes.
And I'm watching Jackie Brown. I'm like, this fucking guy is just spanking me with Didn't I Blow Your Mind This Time? It's like, there is not a chance anyone in the world will ever be able to use this song again.
No.
He so owns it.
Yeah.
And you gotta love that. I Got a Name in Django Unchained. Like, who would have thought to put a fucking Jim Croce song on that scene? It's like, yeah, baby.
He likes what he likes.
He's great. So I'm
not afraid. Yeah.
I have some cues in the next thing that I'm anxious to like put up in front of Quentin just to see like, what do you think of that? A couple back pocket songs that I just want to like. Stuff that you wouldn't expect in a place that you wouldn't expect.
Don't you want to save it for your movie?
Yes, I would have made the movie already.
Oh, I see.
Let him see it.
Oh, I see.
I would not give it away up front. And I like knowing that there's guys like Edgar Wright, Wes Anderson, and Quentin who are so good at music in their movies that like there's a part of me that wants to get them to go, ooh, the way they've done it to me. So it's super fun when people really crush it.
I have many stories about calling musicians because I had to get this music for this documentary I did, Religulous, which was like 2008 it came out. So some people were very cooperative. Some people crazy. Gnarls Barkley told me that. Stevie Wonder did not want to be associated with a religion-bashing movie, so
He's tough.
Superstition was not going to be in this movie, even though it would have been perfect. I tried to get The Purpose of a Man is to Love a Woman, and what was the Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders?
Yeah.
The Game of Love or the Story,
Game of Love.
something like And he wouldn't sell it to me.
Really? But Wayne Fontana?
No,
living on a cot in Covina is not going to sell you that?
Exactly. And but Pete Townsend, gave me The Seeker. He sold me. I mean, that's I think something that stops people from putting some music in movies. These people can charge a lot of money.
True. The Seeker, so great.
Perfect for this movie. It's about religion. So
Townsend, there's another guy who can write a song. Like, I don't know if you're a Who guy, but his lyrics are
very much
fantastic.
Yeah.
He's the best. Joni Mitchell as well. These are like some of the best interviews in rock. Like Pete Townsend is a spokesman for rock and music. He's incredible. Well, sometimes he writes rock journalism and he's the best.
Really?
Yeah, because he does it and gets it and worships it too.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of pleasure, so funny the way in life, like some things you can pay a lot of money for and they give you like this much, but like a song, say, you bought it first on an album, so for a lifetime of pleasure. I've been listening to Tommy Quadrophenia for their hits, the one where they're pissing on
Who's Next?
Who's
Come
Next?
on,
I mean, there's just like albums that are like top to bottom, every song is good, which is a hard thing to hit. And they hit that a few times.
They do.
Yeah.
Quadrophenia, the movie. Did you have an opinion about that?
I think I was watching it in the bathtub.
Right, it's a bathtub movie for you. I love the tears.
What's
the
it
triple
about?
Tears
It's about like
movies.
The Mods and the Rockers,
but
or that
it's
kind
great.
of.
It's
it is.
fantastic.
Oh, it is. I'll give it another shot.
It's worthy. Of one of your tears. TIERS. I did not tell you this story of I was going to tell you so I got asked for an autograph after singles, and I thought it was a joke, and so I said no. And I just thought the guy was making fun of me or something. So I was like, no, that's okay. It's okay. And I saw him go back to his buddies and say, like, you know, that guy's full of shit or whatever. And like, they looked at me like, really? You're that guy? And I kind of, at that moment, I was like, I don't care if they're joking or not, or if there's somebody else that they wanted to get an autograph from, but they're stuck with me, I'll sign it. Because that is that moment, the courageous moment usually that you just mentioned, that's huge. And here's a story that kind of goes with that. We grew up in Palm Springs, and there was a costume, like a Western costume.
You grew up in Palm Springs?
Yeah. Shop. And my mom goes in there.
Ugh.
And she's, well, you know.
It's like 1,000,000 degrees.
It's 1,000,000 degrees, and you will never meet somebody born in Palm Springs except me. Everybody else is passing through. I was born there. But my mom goes into this place. Sinatra, even Elvis. Honeymooned there, baby.
Bing Crosby.
Come on.
I mean, everybody loved it.
Dinah Shore.
Yeah.
Come on. So my mom goes into this Western costume place, and she's just like looking around or whatever. And she is very much into metaphysics and health foods and all that stuff, ahead of the curve. And she looks over and realizes that like all the women in this store are staring at the guy that's just walked in, Steve McQueen. Not the director, Steve McQueen, the star, Steve McQueen.
Of course.
And so Steve McQueen is in this place. And my mom, you know, fearlessly goes right up to him and says, what was the name of the horse that you rode in your movie Junior Bonner?
Junior Bonner.
And my mom, little does she know that like she's going to him after like what The Great Escape and all of his huge movies have come out. But no, she's going to him about Junior Bonner, which is a little horse movie.
I remember the title.
I never saw
I don't
Junior
think
Bonner.
I ever saw it either, but
Steve McQueen is like...
Raquel Welch had been in it, I would have seen
I'm
it.
with you. Steve McQueen goes like, you know, Flicker. She goes, I love that horse. He goes, I love that horse. And they get into a 20-minute conversation about metaphysics. He was probably high as shit, right? Because he smoked. But he spent like 20 minutes talking with my mom about health foods and the horse and all this stuff. And she came home and told us about it. And I swear to you, we feel like Steve McQueen is part of our family. All because he spent 20 minutes with my mom. And that river runs through my family. So like we're fucking talking about it now.
Steve McQueen was a very charismatic actor.
Apparently so. She said his eyes were like fucking electric.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. I mean, he was one of those. He got that chip. But, you know.
But you were that guy walking out of the basketball game when they're like, Bill. You're like,
no, Steve.
You are. You're that guy.
Well, Steve McQueen and I have a slightly different profile. And Steve McQueen.
But the eyes,
But Steve McQueen got a brain tumor.
I know.
And fucking died young. Well, not super young, but like a lot younger than I am now.
Young.
So maybe it's not so great to be the pretty boy. No, I love Steve McQueen. I just want to make that clear. And the director, just to be completely safe. But
interesting take.
Yes. But Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
I love all his movies. I felt like he absolutely topped himself with the last one, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Is my all-time favorite Tarantino movie.
I'm with you.
Steve McQueen is portrayed in it.
Not well.
I thought very well.
Really? I got to go revisit it. It was the one part of the movie where I was like,
what's his name?
Damien. That
Damien was the devil in The Omen.
That's right.
No, his name is Damien Lewis?
Harris?
Winter?
Lewis. It's Lewis. You're right. It's Lewis.
I feel terrible. He's a great actor.
He's a great actor.
He was also in Homeland, which I love.
He was great in Homeland.
He's great in everything. And now he's in Billions. We love him so much.
Okay, I love him. I love him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
And I just thought he did Steve McQueen there.
God, I got to look at that again.
You got to.
For some reason, I thought that and Mama Cass was a little bit of a almost thing, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that. I love that movie so much.
Yeah, I do too. I don't remember the Mama Cass so much, but Yeah, check out that scene, 'cause I think Barbie Benton might be in that scene
I
also.
think Barbie Benton.
Not that our life revolves around Barbie Benton, certainly anymore. But
Not anymore, but for a while.
So you found her very cute, huh?
I did. I did, and like wholesome,
Right.
kind of. Though you don't know what wholesome is yet. You're that age. It's like she's not
Right.
threatening to me. She's like this sweet person who's beautiful, and she's nice to the old man. It's kind of. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
they arrive. Your hormones arrive when they arrive, I guess. But she was, and Raquel Welch. They were like galvanizing.
Also, I must say, and I really believe this, so good to have an innocent childhood. Like, yeah, maybe it's lame in some ways to people, but I would not give any amount of money to give up the innocence I had of, my school had like none of the problems kids have today.
Yeah.
No racial problems because it was an all-white school. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but that is what I was born into.
Yeah.
No divorce.
Yeah. Yeah.
No crime. It was. Oddly, I wasn't that happy as a child, but it was still idyllic compared to like real problems people have. I just didn't like the being a child bugged me. You're powerless, you're smaller.
Yeah.
It was not for a control freak to be a child, just to begin with. But there was, my parents were together and, it was Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah.
Was that the way it was in Palm Springs?
Kind of. I mean, you say Leave It to Beaver. Eddie Haskell was my favorite character, and Eddie Haskell was like a rogue guy, the kind of which I didn't have much at school, like you. I had a very similar thing.
I mean, what a bad kid was, I don't know, he put gum under the seat or something.
Yeah.
We really had an innocent.
Are you happy you grew up in the time that you grew up in?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I feel like.
So you would choose that again?
Yes, I would. I really think I would. I mean.
Because you get to see it all if you're born in that time.
I'm just saying childhood should be a time when you're, first of all, the schools actually worked back then.
Yeah.
Unlike today where they don't teach, they don't know anything.
It's true.
The kids can be very smart, but they generally don't know anything. You can leave a high school and know nothing. There's no like serious curriculum. It's like whatever they fucking want to start teaching. None of the traditional things are like sort of absolutely necessary. Whereas when I went, no, you had to take history and you had to take English and you had to pass and biology and all these things. And I just think that, and then the kids don't go and they don't care and they're on their phones and the teachers are checked out because it's a horrible thing. Teachers literally get beat up in schools.
It's true.
I mean, it's insane. So am I glad I didn't live through that? Yes.
I'm with you. My mom was a teacher, and she was a hero. I mean, she was a hero, a heroine to her students. I mean, they would hang out at my house to get more time with her, and she would counsel them and help them. Yeah, I would come home sometimes.
How did that make you feel?
Kind of like she was.
I'm not sure if I was going back in my mind, I would really be sharing my mother with the neighborhood kids. That would seem.
Well, it was also like older kids because she taught in college, so it was the older crowd, the kind of cool older people that would be like hanging out in our living room talking about the movement and stuff, and that seemed really cool, like
what's the
Vietnam,
movement?
and all of that stuff. And my sister got me into a local underground paper. And that's how I started reviewing records because everybody was so interested in politics. Nobody wanted to review the records that they had to review to get record company ads for their little underground paper. So I was like, I'll review that Carole King record. If I get to keep it, I'll review that.
They should put you
record.
in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What? You know what? I'm going to start this.
I don't play anything.
No, but like they put people in Hall of Fames. There's broadcasters who are in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
That's true.
Writers like Red Smith.
Vin.
No, you should be in because contribution to music.
Thanks. I'm a fan like you. Like I love
I
what
know,
I
but you
love.
did
and it's just
something with
exciting.
it.
I did some things, but I also had a lot of help. I had a lot of musicians.
But what do you think of the concept? Should there even be a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I feel like,
I don't know.
I
I'm
mean,
not
it's
sure.
sort of antithetical to the spirit of rock and roll. And also, if a bunch of musicians want to get together with each other and blow smoke up each other's ass, there's already a place they can do that. Rehab.
Hello. That's funny.
No,
That's funny.
but yeah, I just feel like the idea of taking rock and roll, which is about rebellion and, you know,
I'm with you.
it's you can't quite fit the two things
Put it
together.
in- you can't put it
when
in a
you
tux.
do, you kill one.
I agree. You shouldn't put it in a tux. You shouldn't do
Right,
all
you
that
put
stuff.
it in a tux is a great way to say it. Yes.
It's weird, but the fact that it's a given makes you kind of root for the people that aren't in the club now. So like I'm super jazzed that Peter Frampton is up as a nominee this year. Like say what you will about Hall of Fame, but like I
he
love
had
that
some-
Peter Frampton.
Yeah, he had some good ones.
Peter Frampton deserves it.
You know what they should do? They should do, like they've tried to do Woodstock. I was at Woodstock 25.
How was that?
I was covering it as the correspondent for Jay Leno's Tonight Show in 1994. It was fun. We helicoptered in. It was awesome. I was like 37 and like, you know, I just started Politically Incorrect and I was doing this thing
Gotta
for Leno.
find
Yeah,
this.
it was great. It was a lot of fun. But what was I asking you right before that? It was very important to me. Oh, Woodstock. Oh yeah, they should do a Woodstock. So then they tried to do Woodstock 99.
Right.
That was a disaster. Have you seen the documentary on it?
No, but I want to.
Oh, you have to.
I will.
Like tonight.
Okay.
Because it's just fucking ugly.
Wow.
It's everything that the original one was not. Commercials, commercialism, very misogynistic. Like the big bands at the time were like Limp Bizkit and
Oh wow.
you know, and so it was just like very bad male energy.
Yeah.
It's a great documentary.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So they should do like, but now the people who went to Woodstock are really old. They should do like a like a ballroom Woodstock where they like have a mud, you know,
That
pit.
hurts.
What?
It hurts.
I know, but you have to like live with the
Live it.
age of the people
I'm
who
with
are
you.
your fans.
I am
they
with
don't,
you.
They can't
Grow up.
They can't really go to Woodstock again.
I grew up with you. Literally, you grow up with. I got it. I think it's great. Ballroom. I like it.
No, that was people can't ever like recognize when something is a one-off. You know, like that was a.
That's
it was
so true.
It was such a
Leave it alone.
serendipity kind of a thing. They didn't expect it to be an open concert, of course. It was
Yeah.
just overrun, right?
Yeah.
And the bands and the mud and just the moments. And I tell you, one Joni Mitchell song I do like is Woodstock.
Yeah.
But she didn't do it. Her boyfriend did it. Wasn't it Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young?
She did it. She did it.
Oh, she
on,
did it.
on her album for sure. She wrote it while they were playing the festival. She didn't get to go.
The fighter planes turning into butterflies. It's
I'm telling you.
bitch, better have my money.
You
I
gotta
gotta
listen
say.
to her version. Her version is
I
pretty
will.
compelling. I'll watch Woodstock, the
All right.
disaster documentary. You'll check out the earlier Woodstock by Joni. I love that you're such a music guy. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You feel it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine a life without it. Although, if I had to, would it be worth killing myself if there was never any music? No, but I would miss it horribly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, very hard to dance.
Very hard to dance.
You know, and I do make dance playlists also. You know, you got to dance. You know, you want to hear my top dance?
Please.
Okay. I Love You Like a Love Song, Baby by Selena Gomez.
There you go.
Do you know that song?
Look at that.
Do you know that song?
I'm not obsessed with it, but I could be.
You will be.
Okay.
I Touch Myself by the Divinyls,
Yeah.
1990.
A good call. Good call.
You're killing me.
I loved that record. Touch myself.
Yeah. When I think,
Australian band, right?
I don't know what the Divinyls were. One-hit wonder,
Okay.
to my knowledge.
That's all you needed them for. You
Right.
don't need to know the back history.
Exactly.
Don't Wikipedia me. I don't need the Wikipedia on
I've
the
got
Divinyls.
other problems, and I can't
Yeah.
do that. I can't
That's
Divinyls.
as far as it goes.
I'm so sorry.
Another dance song. Back to Life. Back to Life. That was kind of a great groove song.
No,
but
I
not.
can't dance to that.
Okay.
No. Okay, so this is going to surprise you. Sugar Pie Honey Bunch by Kid Rock.
Haven't heard it.
Awesome.
Okay.
I hate to say it, but even better than the original for the dancing purposes.
Okay. And you're going to give that to Kid Rock. Okay.
Music is music. And I like him.
I got
it. I know exactly who he is, and he's, you know what? He's so honest. And
There for the party.
yeah, you know what? We don't all have to agree on everything. You know what?
I got you.
I sympathize with the anti-snob crusade.
But you will behold like a singer-songwriter song in 2024, right?
Behold.
Like you'll appreciate. You might sneak a singer-song. Behold, you can sneak one of those songs onto your iPod, right?
What do you mean?
Like
Of
like
course.
Maggie Rogers is a great
I don't know who
artist.
that is. Don't know who
She's
that is.
amazing, and
Well, good.
she's a great
You have to send this.
songwriter.
Send me,
I
text
will.
me the name.
I will. I will.
I'm always looking for new talent.
I will text you a little buzzy thing about Maggie Rogers.
I am always looking for new talent. And young talent. I am always looking for young talent. Wait.
Duly noted.
Don't take that out of context.
Duly noted here at Club Random in the VIP lounge.
No, I'm all about charity and
I got
giving
you.
to humanity, especially young people. I want to touch young people. Wait a minute. Don't take that out of. It's gonna look terrible.
I'm gonna go play some pool. Work this out. This you just exit and leave me here alone.
No,
Come
no,
on.
No.
That's a good
I'd stay all
ending.
night.
Speaking of
Yeah,
endings,
it is. Thank you.
this is great, Bill. Thanks, man.
That was exactly as great as I thought you'd be.
We talked some music. We did that.
Club Random.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
My
And my Mad Magazine covers?
Club Random.